Alright guys, new patch just dropped, and nightmares basically become a joke, right? Got to play it a bit tonight, and it really just feels like the old veteran. Especially with the introduction of these burn cards you get to use. And because there isn't really a tutorial for how these things work, I'm going to make this video to explain some obvious, maybe not obvious things about them. First off, what are burn cards? These are one-time utility cards that give you an effect that only lasts during the round you're currently playing. Now, one of these cards are bugged right now, apparently, which is the extra continue card. What it's supposed to do is give you an extra continue, but once you beat the current level, it's supposed to go away. But right now, it doesn't, and you get to keep that continue for the following levels. But for the rest of the cards, one-time use effects. This means that if you use, say, Hazard Suit on your first attempt, on your retry, you do not get to keep these resistances. As for how they work in relation to the team, each team member gets to pick one burn card per mission. I want to specify that you only get one for the whole mission, not per continue. So if you use the burn card on your first try, fill the level, then on your retry, you don't get to use another one. If your teammates did not use a burn card on the first try, then they still get to pick burn cards. If you're like me, a gear already turned in your head, and no, if you picked a burn card and the team fails the level and you leave and rejoin during the card picking phase, you will not get refreshed to pick another burn card, as the game server does keep track, even though you will get to repick your character, deck, and other cards. Now, knowing how they work should inform you on how to use your continues. If your team wants to meme and stack to like 2-digit continues for a few upvotes on Reddit, then you can do that, of course. But if you're not trying to waste all your supply points, it should be obvious that your team should only use continues one at a time, and only after you've hit 0 continues. So coordinate with your team on who's using the next continue. Once you pick a burn card, you can't take it back. Yes, this means you only get 5 retries at a level, but let's be real, do you really need to stack that many on Veteran Plus? Of course, if you know there's a level coming up that you're going to have a really hard time beating, then for now, before they fix it, you can stack continues from previous levels if you wish to do so. Alright, selecting your burn card in-game is pretty simple. You just pick your class, and then once you're at the screen, you can pick your burn card here. Now let's say you pick your cards, right? And you say, oh, I forgot to pick my burn card. You actually can still pick your burn card if you press the button here or just click on this corner. So you still have the option to pick your burn card, but as soon as you click it, it's locked in, alright? And there I got an extra sniper. Now that we have a good understanding about what they do and how they're used up in game, let's talk about how we acquire them. You buy your burn cards from the supply lines, just like everything else. Once you've exhausted getting the one-time drop items like skins and titles, your supply lines should look something like this. You're going to have 3 or 4 different supply lines left that will always refresh with the same stuff. See, I got this first one, which is basically just team buffs you can stack, like extra copper or resistances, and this gun card. Then the second line is just basically all gun cards, with a utility item thrown in here or there. Then there's a single item line that's just the extra continue for 100 supply. All of these supply lines will reset and restock themselves as soon as you buy them out or when the timer runs out. So like this will reset in like 3 days. It is pretty obvious which line you should invest your points in, right? Yes, there are some meme things you can do with stacking Breakout, or stacking 2k copper a level, or stacking 80% elemental resist, but by far the most useful card you can get with your points is the extra continue. Because they reworked Nightmare to give you more stuff on a continue, you're getting your team 4 extra cards and 400 extra copper with a single burn card, which is easily the best effect. Of course, you should still keep a few of the other cards around, because they're still going to be fun to use, but if you're strapped for supply points and want to be optimal with your spending, then you're just buying the continues. Now, before you go dumping all your supply points into continues, there is one more thing to keep in mind. These supply lines are on a rotation, and if we go to our burn cards and look at the filters, we'll notice a distinct category present that's missing cards at this moment: mobility. They haven't released a single mobility-based burn card yet, but the category exists, which tells us that we're going to get some new, potentially very strong burn cards in the future. Is it likely they'll give a better effect than the extra continue, which is 4 cards and 400 copper? Well, I can't say for now. The devs have also said they're looking into adding another difficulty level to the game that's closer to OG Nightmare, which is sure to actually be difficult again.
You're telling me.
So between that news and the fact that we know there are probably a good amount of solid burn cards yet to be released, I would strongly advise you to save some supply points to buy a good amount of what you'll need when we get more content released to us. But in the meantime, stacking those continues is a very solid bet. Alright, good luck and have fun.